We're back. What? Oh my gosh, what?
Oh my god, sorry.
The day before the premiere? What? Lord help us. Anyway, welcome to the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the T in reality. I'm Logan Murphy, just a gay, here with just water, because Lord knows I've had enough caffeine today, thinking that the cast reveal was going to be at noon Eastern, and guess what? It was not. I had to wait an extra 3 hours to see this group of people, but we're here.
Was it worth it?
Hello. I am Lana, your resident diva, here to give you the tea, spill the tea, and take all the tea. So if you have the tea, you know what to do. Send it to me, and I would love it. I'm drinking water, too, because it's just that kind of day. It's just that kind of day. Yeah. And we have two amazing people joining us on the podcast today. I'm just excited to have them here. So let's start with you, Esme, and then to Andrea.
Hi, I'm Esme. I guess that would make me like, I guess I'm like the baby spice of the group. Play. I'm excited to talk about it. My edible just kicked in, so that's why I'm already rambling. So let's get into it, and let me talk shit, because I'm upset at casting for multiple fucking reasons. Now let's pass over to Audrey. Hi. No, you're this way. Hi.
Hello.
I'm not thinking anything, but I have a styrofoam head next to me, so there's that.
There we go. You already got it ready. What did I say? Oh, I'm Audrey, and all I know about this cast is that I know no one on there, which is a relief for me. But that's about it.
I mean, we love to see it. We also have our love, Eris Envy. Hello. And hello to Adrian. Taylor is a queen. We will be talking a lot about Taylor because she is a queen. But we are here. Big Brother 24 is finally upon us. CBS finally decided to grace us with a cast.
And we now know why they did it so late, because we already dug up a bunch of shit on them.
It's great. It's a great time. So we are going to be diving into our 16 brand new house guests that we're probably going to hate by the end of next week. Very excited to do so. We've already canceled 3 of them. We'll talk about it. It's bad, y'all. It's bad. It's already bad. It's already so bad.
Lana said, "Cut the cameras, dead ass."
Lana said, "Cut the cameras, dead ass." Oh my goodness.
It's a lot. You give Twitter an hour, we'll give you the world. And that is what they did. They said, here's the cast, and they said, hold my beer, we'll be right back. We'll find out everything we need to know about this cast. So, child. But here we go, y'all. Let's jump into this cast. Big Brother 24. And we'll start with Alyssa Snyder, 24 years old, currently living in Sarasota, Florida, and she's a marketing rep.
How generic of an occupation.
Yeah, that's something where I have no idea. I can know what marketing is, and I know what like a representative is, but I don't know what a marketing representative would do. It's very one of those jobs where you can she probably can explain it very well what it is, and I'll still never know what she does.
Yeah, she could really tell me like, oh, it's like she could basically tell me it's anything. Like it's her taking photos of dogs for people's Instagram. Like, oh yeah, that's a marketing rep. Yeah.
Sure. So I first of all want to thank two of my favorite Big Brother people in the world, Mike Bloom and Sharon Thorpe, because all of the information we have today is literally from the two of them. CBS said, hey, you're going to get the cast the day before, and we're not going to give you anything other than photos.
Ooh.
And not the Christmas wrapping paper.
Does that mean Christmas, Dan?
I hope not. She did not list Christmas under her favorite players. I will say that. We also do know Alyssa Lopez has talked with Alyssa Snyder. So we love another Alyssa from Florida.
Both Florida, yeah.
Are they both in Sarasota?
No,
I think they are.
Are they really?
I think so. Because I think
they're the same age too.
I honestly think they know each other, like for real know each other, and that's why she was able to get on this cast.
It feels just like I don't know how she's gonna play, but it feels like they just copied and pasted like battle is and we're like let's find another one.
Well, I can tell you how she says she's gonna play Esme.
How is she gonna play, Logan?
I'm so glad you asked. So here's what we have. So we had Miss Sharon, fabulous, lovely, wonderful, was asking 5 questions to each of the house guests. So we have those 5 questions, and then we also have the answers from 5 questions from Mike Bloom. So I'm going to go over the highlights of all of this. But the 5 specific questions that were asked by Sharon in her interviews for EW, I think, I'm probably getting the site wrong, so sorry, were if you're in a final 2 scenario, do you take your number 1 ally or do you take a goat, basically? They didn't say goat, but like a goat. They asked favorite seasons and favorite players, which revealed who's a recruit and who's not. We'll talk about it. If your ally is up for eviction and the HOH is targeting your ally, do you try to flip the vote or do you go with the house? She asked, would you ever throw a competition? And she asked, if you were HOH, would you target strategic threats or go with what the house wanted? I absolutely love what these questions and Mike's questions as well are very, very good. He's asking the best advice you received before coming to the house, how you think people will perceive you, what types of players would you least want to work with, what's something the other house guests might dislike about you, and on eviction night, would you rather flip the votes against the house to help your individual game or go with the house to help your alliance? So overall, honestly, it's a lot less information than we normally have, but it's a lot more quality from what we're getting from these questions. So overall, what we know about Alyssa is that she would take her ally to the final 2 because she's confident that she would play a good enough game to beat them in the final 2 scenario. She is a fan. I am hesitant to say super fan. There's only one person on this cast that I can confidently say is a super fan, but it seems like Alyssa is at the very least a casual fan. So she talks about how she's seen every season. Her favorite players that she listed are Janelle, Brittany Haynes, and Casey. 3 very popular choices that we'll talk about. Yeah. Most people on this
those players are bad, but those are our generic answers.
As we go through the house guests, you'll see some patterns in as far as what seasons they were given in Sequester. So she said she would flip the vote for her ally. She would never throw a competition because she's here to play, but she might take a deal in a competition. And she wants to target strong players. The best advice she's gotten is to just be herself. Most people on this cast have gotten that. Just blanket say that. She thinks people will perceive her as a young girl, go with the flow. They're going to underestimate her. She does not want to work with loud and obnoxious players.
Loud.
I also just want to say thank the Lord above that Christy Valdesari is not on this cast. That's all I'm going to say on the matter.
Who do you think she would have? Ben in replace of?
Alyssa, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. They fall into the same trope. So 100% for me. She talks a lot, and on eviction night, she would probably go with the house vote, because she says, from what I've seen in Big Brother, when you flip the vote, they always find out who did it, and then you're next to go.
I feel like that's just if you're not delusional enough. Like, if you're delusional, I feel like you can sell the story a lot better.
Uh-huh.
Or if you got people who's gonna back you up anyway, it might not be a bad thing. But if they flipped with you, then you got backup and you got support, and so you aren't. I don't know.
No, that's true.
My thing is, do the most you can to keep the person that you need in the house safe, without putting your game on the firing line.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be it's always a way to kind of like, you have to prioritize what's important and who's important for your game. Like, I'm not going to kick out people who are going to help me get further in this game. Like, why would I sabotage my own alliance for the house when I can get the house to see things my way and flip it around? But you just can't put your neck out for somebody once the tide is shifting that way. And it's like, look, even it doesn't matter if I flip, or if I can get one more person to flip with me, it's not going your way. Then that's when you do that. You don't just, and that's at the last minute. That's Thursday afternoon, like right before the eviction. Like, you know what? I done did what I can. It ain't working. So,
I find this comment interesting, specifically because, and I'm not going to throw it up here for very long because I don't want to block Esme. I find that hard to believe that they didn't get videos in Sequester. One, because they do every season. Past house guests have talked for years about how they get certain seasons in Sequester at the very least. I also have a hard time believing that. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I have a hard time believing that because so many people specifically mention Big Brother Canada season 6.
Yes. And everybody mentioned the same shows, like the same seasons. I watched season 16, I watched season 20, I watched BBK 6 and 23. Mm-hmm. And 6 12, which was crazy. I'm like, oh, we're going back to 6?
It seems like it's 6. It's some combination of 6, 10. There were a couple of people that mentioned 10, 12, 16, 20, 23. BBK.
Yeah. So I'm like, they had to show them certain seasons of the Big Brother while they were in Sequester. And you could tell, like, those who aren't, like, super fans, those who are recruits on the show, they watched what they were given. They didn't watch other seasons. They watched the seasons that were given to them in Sequester, so they can say, oh, and everybody liked Derek. Every person was like Derek. And you was like, okay, seriously, you don't really watch this show, and we know that because if you watch this, Derek did nothing but win this game. He really had a bland season who strategically, sure, he was fine. But, like, all-time favorite players of all time, like, what did he do besides win? What he did was he had a whole group of people who followed whatever he said was going to happen, and he made it happen. Sure, strategic-wise, I'm like, kudos, great, but greatest of all times, for me, I find that very hard to believe. Out of 23 seasons of Big Brother, Derek is the greatest player of all times.
So I'm going to start the BB24 cast assessment drinking game. So if you're watching this live, or if you're watching this after the fact, drink every time. This is going to happen a lot. I'm probably going to go grab a drink out of my fridge. I'm going to be honest. Drink every time someone mentions Janelle, Casey, Derek, or Xavier as their favorite player.
Oh, and Tyler in there too.
Tyler and Crispy. Yeah, those are like the 5. So
who would y'all say? Who would y'all say for your favorite? Like when they ask the question.
Davon.
I mean, for best player of all time for me, Danielle Reyes. 100%. 100%.
I have too many. I have a few. Like, I would give like a list. Because I would just be like, there's too many. I would go Danielle, June. They're mostly just all women. There'll be women of color. There'll be a very common theme. Davon, Betty from BB Can. And then like Tiffany from the most recent season.
Yeah.
So those would be like my like if I could get Big Brother and form an alliance with those people, that would be great. That would be a really fun alliance. I know I'd be the first one out because I would not out of that alliance. But yeah, those are like my favorites. And
I would be so bad with this question because once the season's over, it's like these people don't exist. I'm like, okay, whatever. And so I'm so bad at remembering people's games or like how good they were. Like the Davons of the world, of course you remember them because they are just so like they leave such a mark. The Tiffanys of the world you remember. For some reason, someone that I always remember is who's the girl who made shirts of her name?
You don't remember her.
Jen.
I feel like I relate to her because I love making shirts of like sayings that I like to say.
Oh my god.
And then I just wear them for life. Or I like making like themed shirts for like movie premieres. And so I feel like I relate to that. Like I don't remember, like I don't know if she was problematic. I don't know if she was a horrible person. I remember she stood up to Dick though, which is always nice.
Well, I have to say, because I have to interject here. One of my absolute favorite Big Brother moments of all time. I will now perform eating. Like, it's just...
See, I don't remember that either.
That's Jen.
Is that something she said? Okay.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up, because she basically broke have-not rules when she was going home. Like, she was guaranteed to go home that week. And so she was like, I will now perform eating, and like basically broke enough rules to where like she should have been kicked out before the eviction, but they said it's like a Tuesday.
They're like, we're too lazy to kick her out, and like, then what are we going to do with the jury? You know, like we have her, like, what are we going to do with the jury?
Because like
I was trying to be quirky, like LOL, I'm so funny in the question answer. I would probably say her. Just because that's like, for some reason, I always think of her when I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Like, if I went in, I would want to make my own shirts, you know? Like, I always think of that.
Oh, if I were to ever get on the show, it's just so everybody knows that I'm a super fan. My like joke answer would be Becky from BB17 because she got hit by a train. And then everybody would know, hey, guess what? He's a super fan. But then like obviously Danielle, June, Allison, Davon, and then there's like there's like the people that I enjoy. So like Rockstar, Ozza, like didn't necessarily play the best game, but I like them still.
I would also say, as like a joke answer, Chrissy from BB23. I'd be like, you know, she got 17th on a season of 16, but she was really great.
She was really loud.
And loud.
God help us all.
I mean, if you're a super fan, you just have to throw in somebody like, oh, I like Justin from BBOTT and Danielle. And like,
I would put Danielle. Oh, I would put Danielle.
Danielle from OTT. Like, they're supposed to be like, oh yeah, this person is a fan. Like, only super fans watched OTT. You weren't casual player viewers watching over the top. You just was not. So that was what I would do. Yes, very loud.
Loud.
Yeah.
Look, it's Chrissy. She's here with us today.
Stop it. Okay, we need to move on.
Yes. I also just want to point out, I love that I've turned Eris Envy into a BBUS fan because I'm pretty sure they've never seen a season of BBUS. So I would just like to take full credit for that. Alyssa, good luck to you, gal. You're going to be in a showmance by day 14.
Love.
Who do we think she's going to be in a showmance with?
We'll point them out. We'll point them out when we get to it. Let's point them out when we get to it, because it's definitely somebody I think she'll end up in the showmance. All right, then let's move on. Amira Jones. She is 31. Lives in what's Minster, Maryland, and she's a content designer. Now, another occupation, and I'm like, I know what a content designer is. I guess I get it, but what do you do? What content are you designing for? What social? But you know what, Amira, you do you, and I'm gonna enjoy watching you do you and continue to design content.
Through her picture, she looks like someone who, like, if you're starting a job for the first day, like, and you see her, if like you see her in the office, you're like, oh, thank God, someone's going to be nice to me, you know? Like, she gives that energy through her picture of, like, relief, you know?
Her picture, I thought, because it was the first picture I saw, and I didn't know if it was, like, a real cast photo, because I didn't know, because they're also not great photos. I thought it was, like, just, like, a promo picture for some, like, medical show. Like, I thought this was, like, a promo for, like, Grey's Anatomy or something. Like, she was, like, a character, like, on, like, some, like, medical, like, hospital TV show. I was like, oh, good for her. And I was like, oh, wait, no, this is an actual cast member.
She's on the new season of Transplant on Hulu. Like, yeah, she's the new main character.
I think it's like the background that gives very much school picture day.
Oh,
yeah, it's
better than last season.
But yes, definitely. I did see this. I'm gonna put this up real quick because I saw that tweet where Kevin was talking about her occupation, and it involved analysis and communication and blah blah blah. He was excited for Amira. He was like, she's somebody you should look out for. I was excited about Amira when I saw it. I was like, okay, this is what I thought about Amira. She is going to be that person who you are not going to see come. They are not going to see her coming. She is going to, I think, very much under the radar, the dark horse pick, as Adrian says. But she is somebody who's going to ride that middle until it gets to a point where everybody's like, oh, she's harmless, nobody's going to worry about. And then she going to kick it in the gear and just, I can see her riding this out. I think she's Drury, if not winning. You know what I'm saying? She's somebody who's going to go deep into this game because people are going to underestimate her and will not see her coming, honestly.
I have similar feelings. I feel like she's either going to go really, really far or could be like one of the first two out. It will be that, or she'll be like one of the first two out because she goes too under the rate because she doesn't make connections strong enough quickly. And like people put her, and she goes up as like a pawn and gets backdoor, like gets blindsided.
I really, really like her so far.
Season, what scares me is that Julie, like I think said in an interview, not all the like sometimes people will go home that aren't nominees.
Yeah.
So I was gonna bring that up at the end because there's a good old 14-minute Julie interview that's making me nervous.
Yeah.
I really like
a lot about this season, I will be honest, and I'll talk more about it at the end.
I like Amira from her profile. There are a few things that worry me, but let me dive into it. So she said in a final two scenario she would take the GOAT player with her. Her favorite seasons, she mentioned 10, 16, 23, and BB Can 6. So I think she's a recruit. I get recruit energy from her, but I don't mind that because I think she's got capability.
I kind of like the recruits in the sense of I think like sometimes they can be more YOLO. Go ahead.
Sorry, her picture had been giving me some like one's energy from like a different season. I could not put my finger to it until just now. But Bridget from BB, I don't know what season, it's the team season.
18?
I think so.
Okay.
If I'm thinking of that one, if I'm thinking of the right person. But
she was on the team season. Yeah.
But like I think that's just her picture. I don't think she'll play similar. I think just that like for like one of the first, I was like, oh, she gives me similar energy as that person.
Yeah. So she mentioned she said that her favorite player, and this is why I'm concerned. This one specific answer is why I'm concerned. She said that her favorite player was Nicole Franzel, but specifically Nicole Franzel from BB16, which I am more okay with because clearly she has not seen 18 or 22. So you know what? I'm going to give her a pass. She likes the energy. I like Nicole Franzel on BB16.
Exactly.
So.
That's what I was about to say. I was about to say Nicole on season 16 was tolerable, and it was like, okay, I kind of liked her then. Then she came back at 18 and ruined her whole life, and it was like, no, thank you. And then she came back at 22 and made it even worse than before. And it was like, definitely no, thank you. So yeah,
but she made final two on season 22. Lana, didn't you know? Someone corrected us today.
Police.
We'll talk about that.
So did Nicole win 2 seasons then? We don't know.
No, but apparently she got runner-up on 22 according to Matt Turner. We'll talk about him.
I mean, it just lets you know who actually really watches this show and who really just don't, or who just gets their information all mixed up and confused or whatever. But we learned some, honestly, we learned some good things because Cody apparently would have won 16 if he wasn't next.
I have it in my notes. Don't you worry, Lana.
He could have won if he was on another season. We were like, he did in another season. So
who's gonna tell Marvin?
Who's gonna tell Marvin that he actually did?
Tell Marvin. Anyway, back to Amira because I want to talk about her. She said that she would try to flip the vote for her ally, but with the HOH. But okay.
Recruit. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. She said she would definitely throw a comp, especially in the beginning. She's one of several people that talked about limiting their threat level early on, which I do appreciate. She wants to target strategic threats and the house target at the same time. I'm worried. The best advice she's been given is to be yourself. It's okay to cry if you have to cry. It's okay when you want to celebrate, which I really like. She says that people will perceive her as authentic. She's going to be straightforward, whether that's nice or mean. Her feelings are going to be said. People will know exactly how she feels. If she is not a Taurus, I would be genuinely surprised. She doesn't want to work with two-timers, the people that are in another alliance, but she's not aware of it. She is really, really gung-ho. We're going to see her in the Mega Alliance that forms week 1. Just gonna put that out there now. She said that
she could be delusional. She could be delusional if she is when I say delusional, I mean that as a compliment. I think delusional players are fun, and so I could see her since she is a recruit.
When you say delusional people from Big Brother, my mind immediately goes to like Raven. So like, do you think she'll be like, oh, Raven? Like,
no, she'll be better than Raven for sure. I think she. Because I think like with delusional, I think the good thing with recruits is that they do come in like with a super fan. They come in thinking like there's a specific like way to win or like a specific, okay, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. But with a recruit, they really are just kind of coming in, more blind to the situation of like there are no rules. They just kind of have to win. And so they can be it's so hit or miss. It's very hit or miss. They either are amazing or they're just the worst kind of players. So obviously we'll see. But I hope
they're either really amazing and then kind of bring like a new type of play to the game, something new to the game that we haven't expected because they're a recruit. I think that's like why I'm okay with like recruit. I would be okay. I don't want like a majority of recruits, but that's why I'm like fine with them because I feel like they can bring something new. However, they can also either really not know what they're doing and go home really early and just kind of feel like they were a wasted spot, or they're just like annoying as fuck.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I like her. There were a few things that kind of like stood out. I think once she learns the game a little bit better, I think she'll slide into it. I think I agree with what Esme said earlier. I think she's either going to be one of the first people to go or she's going to make it pretty far if she can learn the game and adapt fast enough while she's there. So,
all right. Well, let's move on. We have Whitney Hoops. Whitney is 32 years old. She is from Atlanta, Georgia, but she now lives in Austin, Texas, and she's a hypnotherapist. Now, I wonder are we going to... That's going to come out, and she's going to talk about that, and we're going to see people getting hypnotized on Big Brother. Are we going to see people using her hypnotherapist expertise to hypnotize. Like, I don't know. Okay.
I want her to just start hypnotizing people to vote the way she wants and not tell
Right.
me that she's doing that. And then they're all like, how the fuck did she like get to the end? And she's like, I was a hypnotherapist this whole time and I hypnotized all of you. Thank you. Now give me the win.
Yeah.
I have a list of people who I like.
This is Big Brother. Audrey,
Awesome.
I will not do anything in this game where it's going to jeopardize my game. It's like, baby, sit back a little bit.
It's like she turned back, lushes into an
Wait, she has seen some shit. There's some terror behind those eyes. Yeah.
Oh my god.
She lives in a haunted house. Her house is haunted, and
I want to say I love her. I'm probably going to be a Britney apologist this season, and honestly,
me too.
I'm not mad at it. So in a final two scenario, she would take the GOAT. She said she's seen every season from day one of season 1, and then because she's seen every single season, she said that her favorite player is Nicole Anthony.
I said, out of every season you've seen, Nicole Anthony is the favorite of all of them.
She did acknowledge
Austin, Texas. That doesn't surprise me that that's her answer.
So is Brittany gonna walk in singing "This Girl's on Fire" as a drone hands above her head?
Anyway, she as far as like the flipping a vote for an ally question, she actually said something pretty good. She said that you don't have to make waves in order to flip the vote. And she talks about in this question how she's going to play a deeply psychological game. Whether that becomes true is yet to be determined. But I did really like that answer. She had a lot of thought behind her answers. She had the longest, questionnaire situation. There's always one that goes above and beyond. This season, it's going to be Brittany. She wants to try her best in comps, but she said if she finds that, she's doing really, really well in comps, maybe she will kind of scale back a little bit, but she wants to try to do the best she can in every comp that she competes in. And as far as targets during an HOH, again, something really smart, in my opinion. She said she talks about taking the pulse of the house. And she wants people to look at her HOH week as like a fun week, despite, obviously there have to be people going on the block. But she talks about she wants people to feel safe with her and breathe like a sigh of relief when she's in power. And talks about taking the pulse of the house, seeing where people are at. So whether she targets stronger players or targets more of like what the house wants, it's going to depend on the dynamics of the house. And she talked a lot as well about being very adaptable. She said that her and her husband have talked about the game, and she's been putting together a notebook of 40 plus pages of different things she wants to try out in the house. But at the end of the day, she says the best strategy is to be adaptable and authentic. She says people are going to perceive her as like cute, fun, works with kids. She's a sweetheart. She's also a competitive belly dancer, which is just a fact that we know now. So she says the players she wants least in her alliance are the players that are strong and smart. So getting those people out first, then taking out the people who are very smart, then the people who are strong, and then like whoever's left out of that group she wants to be in an alliance with. She said she talks a lot. She likes to have deep, meaningful conversations. So people might dislike that about her. And yeah, honestly, there's 13 other people to talk about in this cast assessment. I was honestly the most impressed by Brittany.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sold on her. And this is maybe something as a Texan someone who is an Austin transplant. So like they did not grow up in Austin. They moved here. She could fall into the category of like, who is that person on this last Big Brother Canada season? They had glasses and real blunt bangs.
Jay.
They were very problematic. Jess.
Yes.
I could see Brittany going in that direction of, at first everyone is like, oh, they're so cool and they get it, like, but Brittany, she could go in the direction of like, I'm so quirky, I'm so cool, but then not be that. And so she's someone that time will tell, but I'm not sold on her. And it's like she has a very quirky job that makes her really cool, but like, I don't know. I'm not sold.
I could easily see her as either the Vanessa Russo of this season, or she could end up like Bronte from season 18. I don't think there's any in between, but I think she's going to fall one of those two places.
Okay, so this is where she's jumping at me, and it might just be my nerd side of me or whatever, but like she's giving me Rachel from Glee, kind of like if you watch Glee, Rachel Berry, she's giving me like she's that kind of person. Like, she's giving me very much Rachel Berry. Like, I'm
spot on.
You know what I'm saying? She's just like giving me that whole, I'm going to be, I'm very driven. I'm very, determined to get what I want. And I'll step on anybody I can to get there, but I'm gonna seem nice and I'm gonna seem sweet. When you said you weren't sold on her, I was like, me either, but I don't know what it is about her that I'm not, and then that just clicked. Like, she just gives me very Rachel Berry. I'm gonna seem sweet, I'm gonna appear nice, I'm going to, everybody's going to like me for a minute, and then I'm going to slit your throat when I need to. Not that that's a bad thing in this game, because you have to play sometimes you have to play that kind of way in this game in order to win. And if you're there to win, you gotta do what you gotta do, and I get it. But it's just something about her that's making me not want to fall on the bandwagon of I'm going to stand her, but I'm not going to not like her. I'm just going to look out. I'm going to keep my eyes on her and see how I feel about her. Give me 2 or 3 weeks into the season, and then I'll tell you if she switches me any kind of way. Because last season, I wasn't feeling Brittany. Last season, I was just like, I don't know about this girl. I don't really know. And she just seems a bit much loud. Just, I don't know. And then when she was, after a few seasons, I was like, she's not that bad. I actually kind of like her. So I'm going to keep my eyes on her and just be open. But yes, Jen vibes, definitely. I get it. Sarah Best vibes, I'm getting them. Rachel Berry vibes, I'm getting them. And so I don't know where she's going to fall, but I'll watch and see. Your mic, Logan.
Oh, hey, my mic was off. You know who you just said similar things about a couple months ago, Lana?
Who's that?
Kevin from BB Can 10, and look what happened to him.
I mean, Kevin, just the same thing I said about Kevin. I think I said at the beginning, I think he's going to be that player who's going to play a great game. I'm just not going to like him in the game. And it's true, I did not particularly care for him in the game, but will I deny that he played a great game? Oh no, he played a great game, and he deserved to win that game because he played the way he needs to play to win. She might do the same thing, but just right now, preseason, here we go. We'll see. We'll see. Agree with. I do. The women on this cast look very strong.
I had said this before we went live, but I feel like this is going to be a women-winning season. This feels like a very female-strong cast, and I'm excited.
Let's hope.
Yeah. Oh, Logan switched down to the bottom.
Just so that way, like, if comments pop up, it's blocking me and not Esme.
Thank you.
I like her. She is on my preliminary stand list. Nobody has my stand card yet, even though someone should. But we're gonna let's move on.
Okay, next person is Daniel Durston. He is 35 years old from Ontario, California. He currently lives in Las Vegas, Nevada, and he's a Vegas performer. Just a performer. We don't know what show.
No, Lana. He's the Elvis impersonator.
Yeah, well, they should have said Elvis impersonator, but Vegas performer is what they put on there.
Are you sure he's not on RuPaul's Drag Race Live?
No.
Sorry.
No. They said the same damn thing about Rachel Swindler on season 20, and she was not just a Vegas performer. No, so Daniel is an Elvis impersonator in Vegas, which is really cool.
Timely for the new Elvis movie.
Exactly.
Do we think he's gonna bring Elvis to Big Brother?
They're gonna.
I'm really going to see it. We're going to see some belly dancing from Whitney and some Elvis from Daniel and any of these special talents that these people have. We're going to see them because they're going to be stuck and bored in their house for hours on end.
I mean, especially if, like, based on the theming of the season. If Daniel makes it to, like, the music fest, what are they going to make him wear? They're going to make him do some Elvis shit. Like,
yeah.
Because I'm assuming, I think she said something like a music fest and like a zing fest. Like,
yeah. Let's talk about his interview stuff. So he said in a final two scenario, he would take the GOAT player, but he's very emotional, so that might change when he's in there. He has seen every season plus Big Brother Canada. Again, I'm hesitant on calling him a super fan. I'm borderline there. Among his favorite players, he mentions Dan Giesling, Casey, Brett from season 20, which is a wild pick in my opinion, as well as Janelle, Brittany Haynes, and Dr. Will.
The Brett one threw me off.
Brett threw me off, but all the other ones are pretty consistent. He said he would try to flip the vote to help his game. He would never throw a competition because he talked about, in this answer specifically, how he has applied for Big Brother for 10 years.
Damn.
And he said, I have not put in 10 years worth of work to throw a competition. And like, valid, but also like, if it helps your game, do it.
I do think like I feel like throwing a competition has, I don't know. I feel like when I think of like throwing a competition, it's just like you don't care about it. I don't know. I feel like there's very different just throwing a competition and throwing it because it helps your game.
I always get so concerned. Like, I would be because I could see myself throwing a competition, but then I get in the back of my head of like, well, what if I throw this competition and it backfires on me? Then I fucked myself up. So I don't know that I would be someone who, not that I would win competitions, but I don't think I would throw them just because you just literally never know. Like, what if you really needed that? You know?
Or
but
like, what if something happens where what if something happens where you go up as a surprise like third nominee and then you get fucked over?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think I would ever throw a competition. I don't think I would ever win a competition, but I don't think I would ever throw one, honestly, because like you said, something can happen. You throw that competition, and then the person who you definitely did not need to win wins, and you find yourself on the block. And it's like you do it competition, and so it's like you have to be
like fuck.
The only way I feel like you can throw a competition is if you know exactly what your position is in that house, and nobody is fully aware 24, of every position where your position stands completely in the house. People can be telling you anything. I can be saying right now, oh, Audrey, you're safe with me. You're good. Don't worry about it. And if you go out and throw that competition, I win, and you right behind, you right on the block because I had a better relationship with Logan or Esme before you. But you, in my eyes, you were safe if I didn't win, but I won. So you know, you just never know. I would never throw a competition in a game. It just doesn't seem worth it. But you give your best, and if you seem like a threat, there's no way you're going to win every competition. That's the thing. So what's the point of throwing competitions when you know you can win stuff, because you don't know what the next competition is going to be. You can lose and need it. So, I don't know.
Yeah. So he also talks about how he wants to target strategic players when possible. He talks about week 6 being a sweet spot to target bigger players, which he, to my knowledge, was the only one that mentioned like a specific like time frame or like period of time in doing that. So I appreciated that. The best advice he received was from another musician who was once a clown, who said, you got to do what you got to do in order to get where you're going. And then this is where I borderline super fan with him. He also talks about the best advice that he's heard as far as Big Brother goes is actually from Kevin from Big Brother Canada. Now, I am not sure whether this is BB Can 5 or BB Can 10. So I don't know which Kevin, but that advice was nobody knows anything. We're all terrible and we're all dumb. Sure. He thinks that going into the house, people are going to perceive him as loud and obnoxious, very outspoken.
Sorry, anytime you say loud, I want to go, and loud. So get ready for that this season.
Yeah. The types of players he would least want to align with are loud and obnoxious people, but also the crazy masculine men. Something that other people might dislike about him is his humor. He says his humor is a little skewed, but he's going to work on that.
What's that mean?
And so he said, my humor might be a bit skewed here and there because I'm used to hanging out with my best friends who get me and I get them. So when I meet new people, I drop that same humor on them. A lot of times it doesn't stick. Probably like a dark sense of humor is what I'm inferring. And then on eviction night,
like an actual dark sense of humor, or just like I'm an asshole. Because there's a difference, you know. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. And then on an eviction night, flipping votes, he said he's going to do whatever works best for him. So
from his picture, I feel like at least for me, I feel like I can get a vibe from just someone's picture. I feel like he doesn't know who he is, in the sense of like, I don't know. I feel like with Amira, for example, I got a very specific confidence from her in her picture. But from him, for whatever reason, I feel like he's very unsure. And it could be, of course, he's taking a picture for Big Brother. He's probably extremely nervous. But I don't know. I feel like he could crumble.
I mean, maybe that's the impersonator you're saying, because as an actor, you can be anybody. You have to be different people at any time. So maybe he doesn't know himself, or maybe he's giving what he wants us to see with him. I don't know.
Very true.
I'm interested. I'm not sold. I'm interested.
Look, he reminds me of people in this community that we're a part of. So his picture.
Hi, Dylan Hada.
Yeah.
A cross between Dylan Hada and LaFay for me. I'm like, oh, I see y'all, but it's okay.
If you know, you know.
But anyway, moving right along.
I wonder how many people have reached out to Dylan, being like, "Is this you?"
Oh my god! I didn't know you moved to America.
Oh my god,
you live in Las Vegas.
Moving on to Indy Santos. She is 31 years old from Sao Paulo, Brazil. But please let me finish my introduction, please.
No.
Yes, currently in Los Angeles, California, and her occupation is a corporate flight attendant. Now have edits.
This cracked ass woman.
I'm going to give my stand card to anyone. It's going to be Indy, and I'm not sorry about it.
Wow.
Because she's just so chaotic. I'm like, she doesn't know what the fuck is happening, and like, like how you said with like Brittany, like how you said for Brittany, you're gonna be like you're gonna be an unapologetic Brittany stan. I feel like I'm gonna be an unapologetic Indie stan unless she like says some real whack shit. Like,
So I think Jessica Milagros, icon, legend, and star, said it best on social media. And for those of you that are Survivor fans, you'll get it. But Jessica talked about how Indy just gives such perfect Abby Maria vibes. And that is like exactly what I get from her.
We love that. We love the delusion. We love the chaotic.
Let me
fun
pretend
delusion.
I'm-
I need to preface fun delusion.
Social.
Yes!
That's all
So
I, that's all
so
I
Social.
I don't know this. I don't know Survivor. So where did that person get? Like, where do they place in Survivor?
Not well on either season she was on.
No. Very much Abby vibe. She is. Look.
She didn't place well, but she's the only thing you remember from those seasons.
She look.
No,
Abby,
because
no.
Game Changers, I remember Wentworth does not count. That's what I remember.
True.
Look, Abby has she may not have placed high, but she was fun on to watch on your television screens, and every moment she was on there, you enjoyed it. And I feel like Indy is going to be the same way. Indy is going to be that person who is probably will not, win this game. I don't see it happening, and I don't even care. She is going to be fun feeds, and she's going to entertain us throughout this season for as long as she is there, and I'm here for it.
I can see her having a moment like Meta World Peace where she votes the wrong person to evict. Or like a Topaz moment where she votes the wrong person to win if she makes jury. Like, I can see her doing something where she votes wrong. Like, just like a complete honest mistake where she like just votes wrong. And I'm excited because I think she's gonna be such like a fun energy, hopefully. Like,
yeah, I really hope she doesn't go in the house and strengths and like the personality that we think we, especially coming up from her interviews. Her interview questions, she was just so.
I wanna dive into it because God, I took direct quotes from this woman just because okay, so she said in a final 2 scenario, she said she would take the GOAT player for now, but she's not in the house yet, so she doesn't know. What seasons has she watched? The last one. Quite literally her words. And then she was like, my favorite player, the winner, obviously, Javier, however you guys say it.
I was like,
you watched the whole damn season with this man. Oh God, it gets better. It gets better.
I'm sorry, but I have to stand.
So when asked if she would throw a comp, she said that these questions are very difficult for her. But she would just go with the flow and wants to lay low early. She would target big threats and whoever she doesn't feel comfortable with, which is actually like a decent answer.
One of the only reasons I'm sad I'm not like maybe didn't get cast in the season because I would have loved to fucking interact with Indy. Like, I would have thrown my game for her. I'm sorry if I was in that house.
Don't you know? Anyway,
I wouldn't actually, but I would have been like, I need to work with you, babes. You're my favorite person.
The best advice she's ever received is do your part and let God be God. So we have our Julie Chen recruit for the season.
Are you a child of God?
She doesn't want to work with lazy people. She doesn't like lazy people. She said people might dislike her personality. She's straightforward, and she knows what she's here for. And on an eviction night flip situation, she'd go with the house and help everyone else. In this game, even if it's about winning, we also have a life game. So it's all about other people as well. Team Fun feeds.
Did she bring the board game of life with her? Is that what she's talking about?
She is going. I think she's going to be entertaining, and I can't wait. I really hope. I really hoped that she is as cracked out and whacked out and just what we think she's going to be. I hope she is 10 times worse than that, just so we can have some kind of entertainment on the feeds.
I'm trying to think of people I feel like she could be but I can only
In a
think
Big Brother sense?
or I guess personality wise from other reality shows I've seen. I'm
Raven
Raven
Walton.
But I'm also thinking could she be someone like a Laganja or
Is she the Gia Gunn of Big Brother?
Is she the Gia Gunn of Big Brother?
Perhaps.
Well, I'm excited for her, and so I can't wait to see. I was like, oh, okay, but then the more I watched her interview, I was like, oh wow, here we go, and I'm here for it. So we're moving on to our next person, and that is Jasmine Davis. She's 29 years old. From her hometown is Terry, Mississippi, but now she lives in Atlanta, Georgia, and she's an entrepreneur.
And she's also a recruit.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But,
if you told me this woman was a real estate agent, I would have believed you.
We don't have a whole lot of information about Miss Jasmine, but I like her a little bit. She said that in a final two scenario, she would take an ally because she likes a challenge, and she's a loyal person. She said that she's seen all of the seasons, which kind of then makes me think she's not a recruit, but all of her answers have given recruit energy, which is confusing. So here's where I get concerned with Jasmine. Her favorite players. Derek.
Which Derek?
Levasseur.
Okay.
Cody Nixon. And Tiffany Mitchell.
Such an array of players.
I feel like she put all the Big Brother names in the hat, and she pulled out the first three, and those were the names.
Right. It's just.
It's basically being I could have gone on and been yeah, my favorite players are Raven Walton, Dick, and I don't know.
I want to play Danny Donato and Joey from BB16.
And Chima.
She said that early on in the game she wants to go with the house choices, but she wants to make waves and flip votes towards the end. She said she would throw a vote or throw a comp if beneficial. She wants to target big threats. The best advice she got was trust no one. She thinks people will perceive her as a ditzy Southern belle or a country hillbilly. She at least wants to work with jocks because she wants to partner with the underdog. People may dislike that she speaks her mind. She's very blunt. We've got a lot of blunt people in the house, which I'm excited about.
Do we think we could get some fights this season?
Absolutely. And on eviction night, she would go with the house to help her overall alliance. We didn't get a whole lot from Jasmine. I'm optimistic, but I honestly don't know. She's kind of the biggest question mark on this cast for me.
I see her getting mid-jury. I don't see her winning or going out early. I see her kind of placing the fourth or fifth jury member.
Yeah, she is one of those people I see who's going to jump in and be in, like I said, the mega alliance the first week. She'll be in a big group of people, and they're going to, work together until it implodes. So she's going. Yeah, I don't see her going out early, but I don't see her going to the very end either.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on from Miss Jazz.
That is actually a really interesting comparison. Jessica Milagros.
Yeah.
I can see it.
I can see it. I can see it, and maybe like you said, just on the normal pawn vault, like she would be the perpetual pawn. Nobody's gonna want to vote her out because she's nice and she's sweet, but nobody's gonna want to protect her game because she's not gonna be a huge asset to their game.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. But all right, Jasmine will be looking out for you. Then we
gorgeous too, by the way.
Yeah, by the way, BTW, she is gorgeous. We have Joe.
I'm gonna go. I don't want to talk about this man.
Oh, not that. Not Joe Cirelli. He's 24 years old from Staten Island, New York, but he currently lives in Boca Raton, Florida, and he's an assistant football coach. Now, I'm about to age myself because I'm sure y'all probably never even heard of this person before, but he gives me, it was a commercial when I was younger, and it was Joey Zuzu was the character.
I'm familiar.
Joey Zuzu, this is what he's giving me. Now, he could be totally not like Joey Zuzu. He does look like he could be. I thought he was the Elvis. Everybody said it was a person there. I was like, it's not him, but look, he's a football coach. But Joey Zuzu's character he was a car salesman, and he constantly lied about everything. He was a sleazy, sneaky, car salesman kind of guy, and that's what he looks like to me. Not saying he looks like he's a sleazy car salesman or a liar or anything, but his looks like the dude who played Joey Zuzu, and the fact his name was Joe kind of like freaked me out earlier too. I was like, oh, not Joey Zuzu's name is actually Joe, but I don't know. I get vibes from him like I got from Omer on Survivor last season. I didn't know how I'd feel about him, but I thought I could see myself liking him later. Joe seems like somebody who I might end up liking later. He doesn't seem like, I don't know what his, whatever his personality is or whatever. We'll find out tomorrow. But I feel like he could be somebody who I'm really like, I don't know about him, but in the end up like, you know what? He ain't that bad. He like Derek X for me. At the beginning, I didn't know if I was gonna like Derek X last season. I was like, oh, him hanging out with Travis. Travis was another one. I thought I wouldn't know how I feel about Travis, but I knew. But he left too early. I felt like I could actually like Travis if he stayed in the game longer. And then same thing happened with Derek. I was like, oh, I think I can like him. Once the game started and saw how he was. So I don't know. I feel like he might be one of those people who, as of right now, I'm just like, I don't know. But I might like him later.
For me, before everything else came out, like about the other contestants, because I don't think much has come out about him.
No.
I think the only thing I saw was that like his father was a Trump supporter, which like doesn't mean he is. So, like, just because your parents support somebody doesn't mean that you do. But I think before I saw like all this stuff about like some of the other contestants that we'll talk about later, he was one I was the least excited for.
Yeah.
And he was one I was like, you can be first boot before everything else came out. Now I'm like, I don't know how he'll do. To me, he's the most, I don't know where he'll play.
Mm-hmm. I think he looks like an assistant football coach. That picture looks like an assistant football coach.
He's got a lot going on. So he says in a final two scenario, he absolutely has to take someone, or he's preaching loyalty the whole time, and he's talking about the idea of like that you have to take a floater to the end, and obviously all of these people are using floater in the wrong term, but whatever, because what y'all mean is a coaster, not a floater.
A floater is someone who floats between.
A floater is June Song. A coaster is Raven Walton.
Mm-hmm.
So
it was because the floaters grab a life vest thing that wrongly named it.
Yeah. Thanks, Rachel. He said he started watching at season 11. So he's watched every season since season 11, and then he said he went back recently, watched season 2 and season 7. He talks about liking Chilltown, and specifically Dr. Will, thank God, specifically Dr. Will. But what intrigues me about him is he mentions the fact that there was no veto comp in BB2. He knows what he's talking about, which I appreciate. He mentions Chilltown and Dr. Will. He also mentions Enzo and Cody Calafieri. He throughout his whole thing, he used alliance in quotes. And when talking about like flipping votes for allies, he led by saying, "Oh, I got to keep my boys and the women that I'm working with safe." So this is a man that's going to work with predominantly men. I'm going to call it right now.
Yep. He is definitely going to be a boys alliance thing.
I think like he gives boys like a man's energy. Like, you know,
yeah.
Like he gives the bromance this season, like where he like the Winston and like Brett, the, you know.
Yeah. He said it's going to be tough for him to throw competitions because he's very competitive, and he wants to entertain as far as who he targets. He talked about causing chaos early on, but didn't directly answer the question in most of these, honestly. He said the best advice he got was to show that he's a trustworthy person, to show he's caring and real. He said, as far as being perceived, he said once they hear I'm from Staten Island, and they see the gel in the hair and see I'm Italian, he's probably going to be perceived that way, a la the Guido cliche. But he talks about having been around Southerners, he's a college football assistant coach. I believe Florida State is in Boca Raton. So I'm going to assume that he's a Florida State assistant football coach. I'm not sure. But he said he wants to play into the Guido persona. And if that's what makes people laugh, then he'll do it. The type of players he would least want to work with. He said anyone who's watched Big Brother knows that you do not want in your alliance somebody that can explode at any second. He's more of a chill, lackadaisical guy. He said he's fun to be around and it's easy to be around him, but it could potentially hurt him later on in the game. And he said he would flip votes on eviction night to help his personal game. He talks a lot about family, which I'm not surprised because he's Italian from Staten Island. He says he doesn't want to be a floater. He wants to break up the house a bit. And he wants to make it an exciting season. I'm of two minds about this guy. Everything that I've heard gives me like super fan kind of energy that I want to root for, but for some reason there's something right now that I'm not sold on him, but he's clearly got the game knowledge.
Yeah. I think the thing that worries me the most is like the protecting my boys and then the women I'm working with.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the guy's guy, and he's going to, I think he'll be the one to want to start the all-male alliance, which is like, whatever, dude.
Which will probably consist of the next 3 canceled men that we're about to talk about back to back to back. Welcome back, Audrey. You've made it back just in time to see our Guido from Staten Island, and talk about all of our canceled men.
Love that.
Kyle Kapner. He is 29, from Bountiful, Utah, and he's unemployed. Although
Isn't he just a TikToker?
TikToker, but as far as CBS is concerned, he's unemployed.
They said that's not a real job, babe.
TikToker is not a real job. You just get paid for, whatever. So he's unemployed according to them, but he's a TikToker. People have seen him on TikTok. I have yet to see him on TikTok. I just see what I've seen.
I don't get people just dancing on my TikTok. I get really absurd humor shit. That just does not make sense. So So I have never seen this man. He also looks like every other nerdy white boy that I know in the world. So there's that.
I've never heard of Bountiful, Utah. I never knew that was a place that existed, but he's from there.
What do you think is Bountiful in Utah? Nothing. So it's a lie.
I don't know. I don't know. He go ahead.
So,
talk about life.
Yeah, so he, in case you didn't know, and by you didn't know, I mean Audrey, and the audience, but mostly Audrey. So he was canceled today for liking tweets of
Liking Instagram posts.
Orange Cheeto, the son of the Orange Cheeto. Allegedly, production told him to unfollow the Orange Cheeto, but he didn't go through and unlike any of the Instagram posts from the Orange Cheeto and people associated with the Orange Cheeto. He's also been shown with photos with guns, which I will say, beyond the Orange Cheeto bullshit, which is not okay. We said the same thing last season when a photo of Whitney popped up with a gun, and we all ended up liking Whitney. So the gun wasn't like
Whitney made a post today about like just because he has like a gun, blah blah blah, and then like, but then as soon as she realized like what like why that was found out, she was like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, that part.
But she was something about like you don't know like who he really is yet, and then when she found out when she learned more that it just wasn't like about this one photo, she's like, oh, never mind.
He looks very youth pastor leader, very that vibe.
Mormon youth pastor. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very like the hey, I'm the cool youth pastor. Like, come to my church's praise worship. Like, it's very that energy, which is extremely triggering. So I'm like, I'm good on him.
He looks like a Christian family vlogger.
Yeah.
Or someone who's like, there's just.
Yeah. Then we got clips of him twerking in the diary room, which kind of like.
Well, that's how they get you. They try to be, oh, I'm cool, I'm relatable, but then they're just assholes the whole time. So
it's like I'm a cool like quirky little nerdy white boy. I also am racist. Isn't that quirky of me?
No, I didn't get the vibes from this guy. Listening to his interview, from his picture, I just got that vibe that I'm not going to care for him very much.
I felt like I didn't care for him that much, and then like everything else came out because like my first thought for him was like,
Yeah, I mean, he said in his interviews that he wants to directly emulate the game of Tyler Crispy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, he talks about how like I have to be very honest. I'm going to be objective beyond everything that he.
So what we're saying is that he wants to get second place next to a woman of color.
No, he wants to get second place next to a man. I will say.
Who did Tyler lose to?
Casey.
Okay, I thought so.
Yeah, beyond all of the problematic shit, his answers actually weren't that bad. Like, looking at them objectively, they weren't that bad, which I hate saying. Adrian, I don't want to.
There's like a whole thing. Like, I think a lot of the reason why we didn't get to meet the cast until today was shit like this. I don't know why they wouldn't have just fucking not cast someone like this.
It's Baby US, not Baby Can.
Right.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
yeah, we ain't been talking about how amazing America is for the last whatever because of the fact that we do stupid stuff like this and we don't take accountability into anything other than our own agenda and what we think looks good. And CBS knew exactly what they were doing when they cast these people. They knew exactly what they were doing, and they knew exactly how people were going to react. And with the way this country is right now, you would think, since we are on a ticking time bomb, it seems like literally in a minefield that is America, and anything will set anything off. You would think they would be a little bit more selective and more thoughtful into what they're doing. But this is a social experiment of a game. And they want to make sure that they put every aspect of America in this house and say, here, let's see what's going to happen. But then we'll put this disclaimer on the front of our life and say, but we don't think like how some people might be, just in case something do pop off in that house and blow up, which could possibly happen when you put trash people in a house with other people who are not trash and trying not to be trash, but you put them against each other, in a competitive situation for $750,000 and say, hey, do what you gotta do to win. Lie, cheat, steal, do whatever you gotta do. But then when something pop off and they end up on TMZ, CBS don't want to have nothing to do with that. We didn't know. We didn't think. I didn't know. No, this is what you want, CBS. And you put people like him in this house with people who you know are going to butt heads with his ideology and other things. And so if this is what you want, this is what you got.
Either do we think he's gonna go home early, or do we think like he'll stick around and then like eventually kind of get caught, like expose himself and go home?
I unfortunately I think the latter.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
I think if a woman wins first, I think we have hope. But I think if it's gonna be who wins first HOH. I think he has the chance to go home first. But if he doesn't go home,
also depends on like how long he's able to keep up like this act before he cracks under the pressure. So I feel like that will happen.
Yeah,
totally. He's just very generic looking too. Like, not to like say to any looks, but he just looks generic. You know?
Yeah.
He gives off a very generic vibe.
I mean, there's another one that looks exactly like him to me.
But we are not comparing Michael to this man.
I don't know which. No, I'm not talking about Michael.
Oh.
I'm talking about the one with the long hair, but if he had cut his hair.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
Well, yeah, that's Kyle. I really hope we fall into the same aspect of Big Brother Canada and we get rid of Kyle's early. Thank you. Mm-hmm. All right, let's move along.
Why do you keep casting Kyle's? Like, we don't need this.
Marvin Achi. He is 28 years old. He is originally from Rivers State, Nigeria, but he now lives in Houston, Texas. And he's a chemical processing engineer as well as an Instagram fitness model of some sort.
And as well as a Candace Owens fan.
And very much problematic in a lot of people's eyes, mine included. I mean, body good, great for you. You look great. But other than that, sir, you got a lot of interesting stuff in your life. I have nothing to say about this man because I really don't care anything about him. What he has presented online is enough for me to know all I need to know about him. So I'm going to give you my Whitney moment. You all have at it, and I will sit in the back and yeah.
I will also say he's a current contestant on America's Got Talent. Don't know how those contracts work. Maybe he'll get kicked out and we get an alternate. Who knows? Let's hope. This man is 100% without a doubt the biggest recruit we have seen in the last 10 years. So I don't even really want to go through his answers, if I'm honest, because half of his answers are, I'm going to do whatever will favor my game. The fuck does that mean? Like,
Just say you don't know what. Just say you don't know. Just say you don't know what the game is.
I do want to bring up. So he mentioned all of the seasons that we know allegedly they were given in sequester, and he mentions his favorite players being Derek and Cody, and he says that if Cody was not on Derek's season, he would have won.
He did. He won.
7 seasons later.
He won because
Derek told him how to play the game.
he won because Derek set up a whole ass alliance for him before
And
the
set
season
up the
started.
whole alliance for him and dictated how this game was going to play out before anybody got in the house.
Yeah, Cody won over Nicole in that season.
Someone else said that. Someone else said that.
I know.
That's
Yeah, it was,
problematic ass man number 3.
Cody California beat Nicole Franzo, and
Ugh, please.
Anyway, all of his answers are like he's going to target whoever he needs to benefit his game.
so it's very no answers. It's very I don't have an answer to this.
He talks about his physical ability. He doesn't want to work with smart players. He says everything depends on going into what's going on in the house. I'm like, these are the most
it does.
obvious-
Everything does depend on what's going on in the house because it's about living in a house together. Anyways,
It's the most non-answer answers I've ever seen.
I can't get a real vibe from him in his picture. I do really like the name Marvin.
mhm.
So if we give him any points, I really like his name. But his picture doesn't give me much off of, especially with what you're saying with the answers he's giving. It's not giving.
It's not giving what it's supposed to be. You're not giving what's supposed to be gay, babes. Next caller.
It's he's just like I said, he's a pretty face, and I'll be happy to watch him with his shirt off for a couple of episodes, and then he can go. Usually, and y'all know me, if y'all have followed any podcast that I've ever been on, y'all know I root for everybody black, and that has not changed. That is not something that I steer away from. I will always root for anybody black. But this man right here,
Testing that.
he is the Derek Frazier of the season for me. Like, I rooted for everybody black in this last season. And he's just the last. Derek Frazier just happened to be the last one of the group. Like, he could have been the first one to go for me. So if anybody black has to go, Marvin can be the first one to go for me. That is where I am. That is where I stand with this man. He has however long he has to change my mind, but once you follow Candace Owens and you are agreeing with the Trumpies and all that other stuff, you lost me. Because you care nothing about my life when you agree with those people. So if you can care nothing about my life, then I can not take the energy to care for you. So
I was trying to think of like who might be in that bromance, and it might be him.
Yep, exactly. That is who I see her in the showmance with.
Oh, not the showmance. I was talking about the bromance. I was talking about both, honestly.
With Pooch.
Yeah.
Oh,
for sure.
Oh,
but I
no.
see him in the showmance with Alyssa.
I think Alyssa's going to be in a showmance with Kyle.
Is Kyle straight?
Kyle, the problematic one?
Yeah, I thought he was gay.
I hope he's not.
I thought he was gay.
I hope he's
Whatever.
great as fuck.
Whatever, I don't know.
I don't want to claim that. Anyway,
If he's not, whatever. If he is, sure. But
let's
I
move on.
saw him. But let's move on.
Let's move on to problematic man number 3.
Three in a row. And his
Matt Turner.
Also, his sister getting canceled within like record time too.
You tried to cancel your brother and you got canceled right next to him. But sure, Matt Turner is, well, his nickname, and I put quotes not, kid you not, in his thing was Matt Turner. And
So he goes by his last name.
I refuse to put his nickname as the same as his last name. That's dumb. But anyway, he's 23. He lives in North Attleboro, Massachusetts. He was in North Attleboro, Massachusetts. Now he lives in New Bedford, Massachusetts. And he's a thrift store owner, which by the shirt he's wearing in that picture makes a lot of sense because it looks like somebody uptook that from the 70s and he put it on. Yeah, this dude just gave me dirty vibes from the moment he came on my screen. There was nothing about this man that I was like, and that was even before I saw his sister's tweets. It was just something about him. I was like, I don't know about this man. His vibes were off me, and
he gave he doesn't wash his legs, but he just lets the water trickle down them.
Yes, that's what it just. He doesn't. It's just. I don't know. I'm not feeling anything about him. I don't like his hair. Was a distraction in the interview. I was just like, is that a mullet? Is that or it's just wasn't even a good mullet. Like I've seen some really good mullets. That's not even a good mullet. Like the top is way too short to be considered the party top. Business and fun part. It's good. And then all the other stuff that came out about him, I don't know. I don't know.
So for people that aren't aware, including Odd, Matt, we're calling him Matt. I'm not calling him Turner. Matt.
His sister Holly, right, is the name?
Yes. His sister came out with
David,
Adrian, don't you worry, I'm bringing it up. So his sister tweeted about 30 minutes after the cast reveal, talking about how his brother was manipulative, racist, basically just a piece of shit to her, only for Twitter to turn around and cancel this woman for having the N-word in tweets, for being queer-phobic, among a lot of different things. I have never seen a Big Brother contestant and their sibling canceled in the same day. Big Brother Twitter, honestly, is a marvel, and I love all of them.
She got canceled in record time, and she's not even on the fucking show.
She is not on the show.
Also, so like basically the story, or what is that he manipulated their mother while she was home. Well, his sister was homeless and got her kicked back out and onto the street again. Is what I think is what was in the story. Like the sister was like homeless at the point and was in and out of homelessness and like was staying with the mom, and the brother went back to the house uninvited and basically got the sister kicked out again.
He gives very, I'm a nice guy, like very like, I'm a nice guy. Like I can, you can come to me, very that vibe. But then he's just an asshole the whole time. It's very extremely.
It's very much. It's like the energy of like, what do you mean I was nice to you and you're not going to show me your boobs?
Very.
Yeah, very that. Yeah. Very that. Like I bought you dinner. We're not going to have sex now. Like. What? Yeah.
So there's also a whole separate thing attached to this man because apparently
the Mr. Beast thing.
Why don't you bring it up then, Esme? If you're gonna interrupt me, sis.
No, because that's all I remember. That's all I remember. Right? It was something with Mr. Beast. So
anyway, as I was saying, Esme,
the Mr. Beast thing.
Fuck you. So. Apparently, this guy worked for Mr. Beast, who, if you don't know, is like the biggest YouTuber at this point, like one of them. And apparently falsified a bunch of claims against Mr. Beast, trying to get him canceled and also trying to booster his own YouTube channel at the time. I mean, he's only 23, so I don't know when this happened necessarily. There's a whole thing. Mr. Beast has talked about how this man is basically just not good. Clearly, CBS didn't do their background checks again. I don't want to talk about any of it.
Or they did and they didn't fucking care.
Exactly. I mean, Jackson Mickey did win this game one time. I don't want to talk about his answers because they're pretty generic and like he's clearly a fan of the game, whatever. But among several people that he
Because
listed.
there was a lot of slip-ups.
Oh, there were a lot of slip-ups. Among favorite people from the show, he sadly mentioned Rockstar, which upsets me because I love Rockstar. But also mentioned.
Poor Rockstar made a tweet, was like, I hope he's not problematic. And then immediately under that, she was like, oh, never mind.
Yeah. But also mentioned Christy Murphy, Tyler Crispy, Cody Calafiore,
And
Nicole
David
Frankel.
Alexander.
You gotta ruin it for me.
Yes, I gotta ruin it for you.
There.
No. You know what? Say it faster next time.
Okay. And he also called Cody California. So
that was the only bright spot in that whole interview is him calling Cody California.
And he said that Cody took Nicole to the final 2 of season 23.
I was like, what? No.
It was really. Wasn't that a great final 2? Cody California and Nicole Franzel.
Rat Cole Franzel, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I'm done talking about this man.
Let's move on to someone that I'm very excited to talk about. The Gay! Yay!
We have Michael Brunner. He's 28 years old from St. Michael, Minnesota, but lives in Rochester, Minneapolis now. Minnesota, Rochester, Minnesota, Minneapolis, like that is the state. Minnesota, and he's an attorney. Now this man looks like somebody I played a game with, who happens to be an attorney as well. And I was like,
oh, team.
I said, hold on. You look like somebody I know. But it's not the same person. I know it's not the same person, but it could have been. But Logan, I will let you talk about Michael Brunner.
This man. So I just want to start by saying, beyond any of the game stuff, I went to follow him on Twitter. And the first 2 things he had retweeted were the EW article about this cast. And the next thing was an article titled, "What is Juneteenth?" Which I loved. And then the third thing was like talking about how Janelle was amazing, which sure.
He's a super fan.
He is the super fan. He is definitively the person that I am saying 100%, no doubt in my mind, is a super fan. So he said in a final 2 scenario, he's going to take the person he can beat, regardless of whether it's an ally of his or someone he doesn't like. He's seen every season. He is the only person to mention Big Brother Over the Top, which I appreciate. He talked about international seasons, so I hope he's watched at least some of Canada beyond season 6. As far as favorite players, this is probably my favorite lineup of anyone. Janelle, Kaser, Rachel Riley, Danny Donato, Danielle Reyes, Nokomis, Brittany Haynes, and Rennie from season 10. And anybody who mentions Rennie, I have to stand. I'm doing it. He said that he would try to flip a vote for an ally without jeopardizing his own game too much, but would still vote to keep them even if the flip didn't happen. He said the only scenario he would throw a comp is if he's HOH, he was trying to backdoor somebody, and the veto competition ended up with him and his 2 pawns. Very specific. As far as targets, it would depend on when he's in power. He said he wants to align early with the strategic players and target floaters early, which, again, is the definition of floater. But later taking out those strategic players. The best advice he got before going to the game is to enjoy himself. From what I understand as well, he's an Orger. I don't know any further details about that, but he's one of us, which, again, I appreciate. He said that the second he walks into the house, people are going to perceive him as a nerdy character. He's tall. He's got the glasses. He says that the people he least wants in his alliance are people who are very go with the flow and just want what the house wants. He said something that the other house guests might dislike about him is his intensity when it comes to game. He wants to win at all costs. And he said on eviction night, he's more than willing to flip a vote, and he would much rather flip a vote to try to further his individual game than just go with the house to help a larger group of people. He's great.
Mm-hmm.
If a man is going to win this season of Big Brother, it's going to be him.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be mad if he won. I mean, I guess.
We still have to wait and see because I really don't want to. Right.
I want to say that when it could be something that he's totally horrible once the game starts. I don't know. I would hope not. But, yeah, he seems like somebody who I would be okay with through the game. I would love to see him go, pretty decently far in this game. Yeah, and if he is an ogre, good on you. We love to see it. Gives us ogres a little hope that maybe we can get on Big Brother one day. Who knows? Mm-hmm. But, yeah, Michael seems like a cool person who I'm interested in watching. And yes, he's part of the Alphabet Mafia. Adrian put that up. We love that for him. So.
It's Beyonce tweeting a photo of them together and then all of their cats.
Awesome. There's a bunch of just tweets that have resurfaced, but not bad ones, just ones where he's it shows that he is a Big Brother fan.
He's a BB Twitter person. I go as far as there was one tweet with he's talking he's retweeted stuff about the Janelacy, Rat Cole. He's among us.
Mm-hmm. One of us.
We can move on to Monte Taylor. Monte is 27 years old and lives in Bear, Delaware, and he's a personal trainer. I don't even need to say how good looking this man is, because he's a good man. And I am very much excited to see, him walking around without his shirt on for, giving me some eye candy to look at during the feeds. That'll be great. Or if he's just one of those people who have to wear a shirt, tight shirts will do, short shorts. I do, but I'm excited to see him on my screen. Now, I don't know how he's going to play. I don't know. I don't care. I'm just excited to see him on my screen.
I gasped because I saw he was 27, and I was like, oh my god, that's kind of close to my age. As if I'll ever meet this person. I was like, oh my
god. As if we're not the same age. As if you and I are not the same age.
My first impression as someone who doesn't, oh my god, my dog keeps sneezing. As someone who doesn't like giving hugs, he is someone that I would want to give a hug to.
Yes! Yes, ma'am! Yes, ma'am! I feel that with everything in my being, I feel it. He just seems like he gives good, strong, tight hugs. Yep. And I don't want to just narrow him down to just how he looks, because we wouldn't want anybody to do that to a woman, so I don't want to do that. But yeah, I'm afraid of that too, Adrian. I feel like he might be that guy who wants to do a guy alliance, which, I don't know. I just feel like he could be that, bro kind of guy, which is but I would hope he's kind of I'm a bro kind of alliance kind of guy until it suits me, and maybe gets in the house and sees that maybe these are not the bros I want to align myself with.
Well, I don't I don't necessarily know if he's going to be in a bros alliance. He will be in an alliance. There will be an alliance that includes Monte, and here's the reason why. So, he in a final choose scenario, he said he would take an ally with him if it's like a day one ally, but take like the GOAT player if there isn't as much of a connection with that ally. His favorite seasons, oh boy, he listed 6, 12, 16, 20, 21, and 23. Boy, I wonder, is he a recruit? I don't know.
Yes.
His favorite players. He starts with Donnie, which I appreciate. But then he goes to Derek and Hayden and Tyler and Xavier.
Which Hayden?
BB12, the winner of BB12.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say, maybe depending on the Hayden, it couldn't be as
Hayden
bad.
for BB16 wasn't a great answer either, honey.
I only know for sure that the one Hayden on 12, he just looked like a terrible person.
He's one of the few people
I haven't kept up with.
He's one of the few people from Arizona that's competed on Big Brother. And it's basically him and then Megan from BB19.
And then eventually you.
We're gonna hope so.
I feel like Monte gives off the energy like he has a sister who he's really close with, and because he is close to his sister, he will be more inclined to work with someone, a girl who in the house is maybe a little bit younger, that he feels like he needs to protect, and that will be his number one ally. I feel like his number two person, like him, his duo alliance is going to be with a girl. I have that feeling from him.
I can see that. I wouldn't object to that. I would be more happy with that than the bro alliance that that Pooch wants to start, and But these guys are strong guys. They're strong. They work out, fit, very much fit, and I feel like he would be one of those people, if they did do a bro alliance, would be very much about it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, all right.
Yeah. Most of his answers kind of like, if like in a targeting scenario, he literally said he would target whoever the alliance agreed upon. And like on eviction night, would you flip a vote? I'd rather go with the house to help my overall alliance.
Yeah.
And like,
but not thinking of himself.
Yeah, he did say he would throw comps, though, because he knows he's going to be perceived as a physical threat. And he said he wants to win when necessary, but, like, would never throw, like, a power competition, which I don't know what the twist is. We'll talk about it, but I don't know. He definitely gives me very Tashawn energy. Tashawn did not know what he was doing going into BB Can 9, and look what happened. He won. So I don't know. I'm optimistic. He's very attractive, and I'm excited for Monte.
Yes.
Nicole Leung. She is 41 years old, lives in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and she's a private chef. But 10 years beforehand, she was a police officer. But now she's not planning on telling the house guests any of that. She's going with her private chef occupation, and like I said, with the state of this country as it is right now and how people feel about police, I think that is a very smart idea not to tell anybody about this officer right now. So yep, Nicole, I want to like her so bad.
Me too.
I want to like her so bad. I do, and I'm going to leave it very much open. I think she can be a strong woman, a strong competitor in this game. I feel like she could be somebody who people feel like they can talk to. They can trust her with information. Especially being someone 41 years old, that's closer to my age range, and it's like, I always want to root for somebody close to my age range. And like, if you can pull it off, maybe I think about it, you know. And I want she can go in there and just be that social butterfly that of a player who can go make people feel like they can trust you, make people feel like they can talk to you, know where your position is in the house, know where you stand in the house, and I feel like she could do that. And also pull out wins when she needs to. So I want to like her. I really, really want to like her. I don't want the fact that she was a cop to diminish any feelings, because not all cops are bad cops. So, and not, you know, and she could have, I wonder why she stopped being a cop. Did she leave? Did she quit? Or did she get fired? Because, like, if you quit because you were like, I don't like the way this is going, I'm not feeling fulfilled, then I'm like, sis, I feel you, I'm with you, I can...
I think the reason she left the force is going to be important in how I decide my feelings towards her.
Yeah, I think it should show. I feel like they'll be like, we'll learn why she either left or if she didn't, or if she got like fired.
Yeah, like I feel like she'll talk about that more in her diary rooms. That's just like she definitely won't talk about it with the house guests, but I think we might get those answers.
Maybe in her opening thing on like the premiere, like when they like can't find their keys and stuff, like that part.
Right. Hopefully we'll find out on that. And she was somebody who was like very much talking about honesty and loyalty and honor throughout this game. So I wonder how she's going to navigate her way through this game, trying to be honorable and loyal, because sometimes you can and sometimes you can't.
Do we think like a lot of the previous people named Nicole, will she make it to top 3?
I mean, not all Nicoles make it that far.
I think it's been one that hasn't.
It was an early season, Nicole. I just don't remember what season.
Mm-hmm.
Because
she looks like she's going to be very likable. I feel like a lot of people are going to like her based on just the energy she's giving off the photo, and I could see her really making it far. But
and
I could also
a chef.
Oh yeah, that's very true. That's true.
She's going to Ozzy. She could Ozzy her way through there, being in the kitchen, and folks are like, I don't want them to go because they cook such amazing food. So if she go in that house and she is like, look, I'm just gonna be the chef. I'm gonna cook for everybody. I don't want her to go, especially when I don't feel like cooking me nothing except for PB&J, and you making souffles and whatnot. Then I'm just gonna stick with you, and you can stay, and whoever ain't doing nothing for me can go. So if she can Ozzy her way through this game and build that trust in the kitchen, because that is a strategy. Being in that kitchen, June did it, Ozzy did it. If you can be in that kitchen and people, flock to everybody's going to come in the kitchen eventually. Everybody's going to pass through that kitchen. People going to stop in there and go talk. Everybody's going to talk to you. And if you're always in that kitchen and you're feeding this entire house and they are loving what they're eating, that's a strategy. Yeah. Let's hope not. Let's hope not. Because I don't want that Nicole energy to come out and rat out every woman in the house.
Yeah, she's very clearly a recruit. Like in her favorite season, she lists 16, 17, and 23. Her favorite players are Derek, shocker. Xavier, shocker. Tiffany, great. And Franzel. She said as far as flipping a vote for an ally, she'd go with the house in the first half of the game, but flip the votes in the second half. She wants to make big moves. She didn't talk about who she would target. She just wants to make big moves. She thinks she'll be perceived as a fierce competitor. She doesn't want to work with floaters. Get the definition of floater right, Jesus. She, on eviction night, flipping votes, she would end up going with whatever her alliance is going for. Will we see Monte and Nicole in an alliance? Perhaps. Only time will tell. I want to like her so much, and I'm holding out hope for night 1 tomorrow that it'll be better. I'm really holding out hope.
She was one of the leaked ones, right? She and one other player got like leaked a little bit before.
Yep. So.
Alright.
Yep.
We will see. But let's move on to Paloma Aguilar. I think I'm saying that right, but Aguilar. She's 22 years old. She lives in San Marcos, California, and she's an interior designer. Now, it's something about this girl I feel like I know.
I love her. I love her already.
I feel like I've seen her before. Like, I feel like I've seen her on another show. Or something. I don't know. I'm not sure, but she just looks familiar. Maybe she just got that familiar. But you know what she looked like to me? Topanga. If anybody sees Boy Meets World, she looks like Topanga.
Oh, yes.
I can see it in the mouth.
She looks like Topanga, but I love it because I love Topanga. But I really want to like this girl too. I feel like she's gonna be somebody. I don't think she's gonna go home early. I think she's somebody who's gonna make it pretty far in this game. She looked like I think they're gonna take her as the young girl. Like, she's 22 years old. They're gonna, underestimate her. She's young. She's cute. She's pretty. But I think she got some smarts and some strategery going on. I don't know. She was a surprise for me. And I was like, why do I feel led to her? Why do I feel drawn to her? I don't know. But I am. And I like her. So I'm like, okay. Did I throw my stand card? No, I don't know if I threw a stand card in her, but I pulled it out for a second. It was like, and then I put it back in my purse because I don't know.
Were you considering it like Brittany?
I put it up and I was like, okay, I'll wait.
Mm-hmm. So she's also very obviously a recruit, just based on her questions. She said in a final two scenario, she would go with her number one ally. Her favorite seasons are 20, 23, and BB Can 6, which we love the BB Can. But her favorite player is Crispy, because she loved the relationship between Tyler and Angela.
So do we think she's going to be in a showmance?
Possibly.
It would not surprise me in the slightest.
I feel like we're going to get a lot of memes of her eye rolling.
I feel like she's going to be
like an eye roller.
I feel like she's going to, her and one other person that we're about to talk about that I'm very excited about are going to be the DR queens of the season, which I'm very excited about. She said she would try to flip a vote for an ally while being inconspicuous. She wants to target big players. She said that her dad gave her advice, and her dad's a psychologist, and he said that she just needs to sit back and listen instead of going in there and trying to own it. She wants to sit back, listen, and observe. She thinks people will perceive her as a little ditzy because she does tend to say stupid stuff a lot. But she does have a brain behind all of the ditziness. She doesn't want to work with people that are two-faced. She thinks that other house guests might dislike that she's well-rounded. She could probably win comps. She's good at not revealing all of her emotions. And on an eviction night flip, she's a team player, so she'd go with the overall house. There are obviously some things that I'm not loving, but I'm very drawn to her as her personality just seems very bubbly and lively, and I think she's going to be the person that we get all of the like comic relief segments in episodes from. Like, they're going to keep cutting to Paloma in that regard. But I mean, I like her.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and move along to Taylor Hale. It's Taylor. She's here. And Lana's back just in time to do the intro.
Taylor Hale, 27 years old, living in West Bloomfield, Michigan, and she's a personal stylist. And she looks like she can probably style, because she looks amazing in this picture. Not a lot of people got good pictures, I'm just saying. Man, some of them are not that great. I threw my stand card at Taylor the second I saw it. I can't lie. I pulled it out of my purse and I threw it away at the school. I was like, this girl, I want her to go far. I don't know how far she's going to go, but I want her to go far. I want her to win. It would be great.
I want her to win, but I don't know if she will.
Yeah. Yeah, she is our pageant representation. She was Miss Michigan USA 2021, I believe. I think I saw that on Instagram. So good on you, gal. She's definitely a fan. I'm not going to put her in the super fan category because when she talked about her favorite season, she talked about 20, and she said that 23 was the season that got her into Big Brother. But then she says something dynamic and beautiful, and I loved it. She talks about BB3. She talks about Danielle Reyes and how the only reason Danielle Reyes didn't win is because the jury wasn't sequestered. That's a fan.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fan. I appreciate the hell out of that.
I think she's a fan. She's definitely a fan. Like I said, super fan. I don't know how super fans. She could have got busy. She couldn't watch every season. But she's definitely a fan of the show. And I like the fact that not only does she recognize, that's why Danielle lost, is because it was sequestered and she was glad. And this is why it didn't bother me that she said that 23 was the reason why she started watching it, and she watched 20 and then 20, 21 and 23. I feel like 20, she watched it and she's a fan of the show and she's like, I would love to do it, but it wasn't a priority, especially since she was doing pageants and things like that when it Miss Michigan 2021, so she really didn't have time to, do it. But the fact that I think 23 inspired her to actually go for it, because we keep saying it, representation matters. Representation matters. 23 showed her that she could actually win it. All the other seasons, we knew we can get on the show, sure. But 23 showed her that she could actually win, and that gave her the confidence to pursue it, because now she was like, maybe I can win it. Yeah, I can get on the show, sure, I can do it, but I couldn't see myself winning this game. No people of color, no black person could see themselves actually winning this show until last season. And then, in order to win it, we had to sit in a final 2 or get to a final 6 with all black people in order to make sure we guaranteed that to happen. So yes, I feel like she was just like, you know what? Sure, she might not have felt comfortable enough or like able to. I don't think she's not a super fan because she only started watching. She just got into it. She was inspired by 23. I think 23 inspired her to feel like she can pursue it and actually win it. Mm-hmm. She felt like she could just be on it, and she didn't just want to be on it. She wanted to be on it and know she can win it. So yeah, I feel like listen.
She gives very voice of reason energy. Mm-hmm. Like she seems like she's gonna know what's up at all times.
Yeah, looking at the rest of her interview answers, it's really interesting. So in a final 2 scenario, she said the player in her would take the GOAT, but the fan in her would take the ally because she likes the idea of a close vote. Like we said, she talked about Danielle Reyes as well as Janelle being favorite players of hers. She said she absolutely will be throwing competitions because she wants to rely on her social power and show that, she can manipulate the game without necessarily winning competitions. She straight up said nominating house targets is boring. Which I loved. The best advice she received was from her mom, who doesn't know much about the game, but her mom said to let them think that she's stupid. And because she's got a pageant background and works in the beauty industry, she said that a lot of people are going to assume that all she has is beauty. She does not want to work with people who are not good at strategizing. She said she's very good at using wit and charm to get far. She said strategy is not going to be her strength. So as long as she's not the one coming up with the strategy, she'll be good.
So she knows where she's lacking and where she needs to have someone that picks up that.
Absolutely. She said she's very optimistic and that'll get on people's nerves. She's outgoing. And she knows that those people are the ones that typically have some trouble sticking it out in the long run. And on an eviction night flip, she said it would depend at what point they are at the game. Early on, she wouldn't be afraid to flip the vote because she wants everyone to understand that they're really here to play a hardcore game. She doesn't want to coast to the end, but locking in like an alliance sort of situation closer to jury. Incredibly impressed with her answers as well. I think by far the three I was most impressed by were Brittany, Michael, and Taylor. By far. Taylor is the other person that we got leaked early this morning by her friend, who is one of us, which I kind of love. Her friend was like gassing her up. Clearly her friend is the super fan and like brought Taylor, I think, into the universe, which I do love. I think her name is Raven. So shout out to you, girl. I'm excited. I'm excited for Taylor. I really want her to do well. I really do.
Me too. Then let's our final contestant. We made it to the end. Is Terrence Higgins, 47 years old, from Chicago, Illinois, my hometown. And he's a bus operator. He runs the CTA or the PACE, whichever bus it is, but I know it's one of them. And I'm just like, yes, yes, yes. This man looks like somebody I know. I don't know him. He just looked like somebody I know. He's 47, I'm 44. So I'm like, we could have been in the same around circles of people at some point now. Like, he just looked familiar, but he looked like somebody's uncle. Like, he could be an uncle to somebody, and he could be the cool uncle to all these young kids in that house. I like this man. I don't know what it is. His vibe just gives me that I should like him. Do I think he's a recruit? Yes, I do. I do think he's a recruit. Do I care? No, I don't. Because he just seems like he's somebody's cool uncle vibe. Maybe it's because everybody, y'all keep telling me I'm like the cool auntie vibe around my friends, which I'm like, okay, sure. But I just like this man. The hat is everything for me. I hope he wears hats in the house. I do. I just hope he walk around and on every eviction night he got a new hat. And I don't know. It's something about him. I don't know what it is. The fact he's from Chicago, homeboy, I'm here for it. But I just like this man. And
I love him already.
I love him. I will say I'm less worried about him than I feel like I normally would be, because I feel like the older men tend to go out pretty quickly, except like with a few exceptions here and there with like Donnie and like I cannot remember that old man from like that. Like
Kevin?
that Kevin.
Oh, I went to Jerry.
But I feel like he will play more of like end up being more of like a Donnie in the house.
He seems very pure-hearted. Like I feel like I can already picture the the zoned in moment wherever they're like highlighting a player and he's just like, guys, I'm just so happy to be here and like this is so cool to be around so many cool people. Like I can see it already, and so I'm here for this guy. Terrence is another great name. That's a really good Terrence.
I know a couple of like really good Terrences in my life. Like, yeah, I dig this man.
I was gonna say, Lana, do you know any Higgins from Chicago?
Look, I asked my sister when I saw his picture and I was like, Nisha, Do we know a Terrence Higgins from anywhere? Like, did we go to school with a Terrence Higgins? Did we, like, go to church with a Terrence Higgins? Was he on the, is he on the south side or the west side? Do we know a Terrence Higgins? She couldn't remember a Terrence Higgins. And so I'm going to call my other sister after we finish and be like, do you know a Terrence Higgins? Because, like I said, he looks like somebody I know. I just can't put my finger on it, and I just think maybe he just has that face, that relatable face that you just seem like you just look like somebody I don't know where you are. I just like him. I like him.
I will be expecting a Terrence Higgins update tomorrow night, Lana.
I will let you know if I know him.
Fabulous. Thank you.
Let us know.
Yes. In his answers, he said in a final two scenario, he would take his ally because he wants to earn the win against someone that he's worked with. His favorite players, guess what? It's the stock answers everybody else is given. Derek Levasseur and Xavier Prather. And you know what? I'm not mad at it with this man. Flipping a vote for an ally, he said it depends on how much he needs them for his own longevity in the game. He said he would throw comps if it puts him in a better position, such as like throwing to an ally, so that way he can play HOH the following week. He wants to get big players out ASAP, but didn't really elaborate on whether that was like physically strong, strategically strong, mentally strong, etc. The best advice he received was to be authentically himself. He thinks people will perceive him as funny, sarcastic, and the life of the party. He does not want to work.
Terrence, so sorry to cut you off. Okay. I in my older age, I've become more emotional watching TV shows. I feel like Terrence is going to be the one who like makes me cry. Like I'm gonna
in your older age, when you're the same age as me.
I'm older than I once was, and so like as I've aged, I've gotten more emotional in my life.
Now you're calling Logan old too, damn.
And so I feel like he's definitely going to be someone where we'll get like a hometown package or something, and like it'll be his whole family just like really rooting for him. And I'm going to be like, oh my god, like this is so beautiful. Like I get very that vibes for Terrence.
Yeah.
Audrey,
I love that. I love it.
Well, in my younger age, I don't know if I'll cry. That's all.
Because you're so youthful. You're so youthful, I'd say.
I'm so youthful.
Small. I will cry. I'll cry in all emotional emotions. I will because I'm just a ball of emotions these days. So there we go. But yeah, I like. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say the only other thing that really stood out to me in his answers were he at least wants to work with someone who's fickle and the overthinker who doesn't stick to the regimented plan. So he also talks about alliances. And so I feel like, he's going to be the person to try to get into alliance. And like if somebody's straying from the alliance, he's like, no. Which, sure.
Yes, I just hope he's going to give us a, Frenchie vibe moment where at the beginning he just goes crazy and paranoid. And I don't want him to be the paranoid player of the season where they just lose it. And I don't want that for him.
No, I don't know him.
Well, okay. And that's our cast, y'all. That's our cast. We got 16 people who who go in the house tomorrow and try to play this game. But speaking of the house, it's time for a house tour because we finally saw the house for the first time today. And so we want to share that with you guys. We're going to try to go along with this. We won't take up too much time because we're still into a draft at some point. So, this is a living room. Digging it. I'm digging it. What y'all thinking?
So the theme is BB Motel. Julie said that it's giving retro 70s Palm Springs vibes. Overall, the house is giving me like early Big Brother houses, and I love that.
Yeah. I feel extremely sweaty looking at the couch though. Like this is a couch that like will leave sweat stains, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're sweating, like it will seep into this couch. So that's the first thing I think of. Like
there's gonna be prints
all over. It's gonna be a
Yes.
messy couch.
I really hope that they have some Febreze like fabric stuff that they can put on there after every, because people come in from the pool and they have an announcement. They come out the pool. They come in. They from working out, and Julie says, "Come to the living room." They have to go do. And so I can see very much butt prints and stain pits and shit. So I hope they have some Febreze. But yeah. Then we have this is the top shot of the kitchen.
It's fine.
I'll never forget. Anytime I see the stairs, all I think of is Raven Walton with like the really black mascara running down her face when she fucked up her foot going down the stairs. and like it's the type of foot pain. Whenever I think about anything like hurting my feet, I just feel the shockwave go through my entire body. So anytime I see the stairs in the Big Brother house, I just imagine her with like full like running down her face black mascara when she was like sobbing when she fucked her foot up. And so I'm very thankful that they have this new. Did they implement this last season or Celebrity Big Brother?
The new staircase was brought in, I believe, it's Celebrity.
Celebrity, yeah.
I like the stairs.
I like the stairs better. I like these stairs. It's just very much kids show studio. Like those chairs don't look comfortable. Like I wouldn't be sitting there for a long time to eat. Like I'm gonna eat real quick and get up and go because those chairs do not look comfortable. But all right, then this is the first bedroom. Golf's bedroom. I don't really get it.
I don't get it.
Because the whole thing is based on Palm Springs, one of the.
I don't want. I should have said I don't want this room. I would not stand. This
I would want this room because it's easy to like put my glasses on the green part when I need to go to sleep. So I don't sleep.
I mean, but they have those in other rooms, so I wouldn't pick this room.
See, I wouldn't want the open air bedroom. Period. This is the open bedroom.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that room.
I wouldn't want it either.
And this is the other room. This is the back room.
That's cool.
The retro space room.
Retro space room. Yeah, somebody called it the Jetson room at something. I was like,
this would be the room I would want.
Yeah, Julie called it something. I don't remember.
The retro space age room or something like that.
Oh, it was Space Age. Thank you. It was Space Age.
Yeah, I would want this room. I would want the purple pod behind my head. That's
I'll take
me.
orange.
I would want the orange too.
I would want the green or the purple. The purple looks like a beauty blender from this angle.
It kind of does.
I would feel claustrophobic in the center. Oh, I would want this room.
This is the car's room. And I like this room. It's a little. I think it's a boys kind of room, but I don't like it.
This is going to be where the All Guys Alliance is formed.
Yeah, because like there's the beds. I like the cars. Picture of the cars over the beds. It's cute.
I want them to be more race car-esque bed. I want them to feel more like an actual race car bed.
There's ledges for odd, so your glasses will be all good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then we have, this is the hallway to the bathroom. I hate the door.
The little chair, though, is just
random chair.
Random chair. Sit there.
Isolated chair. Like, what is that?
I wonder if they can move it.
But you know what? I would be that person that's sitting in that random chair. Because I like being away from people, so when it's like when everybody's just around, I'll just sit in the corner in that random little chair just to be for a minute, just to be by myself. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't like the door in between the bathroom and the kitchen. I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't like it, but whatever. I think the gym is probably still in there. So, whatever. That's the upstairs hallway going to the HOH room and the have not room and the little bar thingy, and here's the little loft area. Those chairs, those don't look comfortable to me. Like, again, sweaty Same.
Most of the seating in this house seems uncomfortable this season.
Very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like I mean, sure, it's a little tiki lounge, sure, great. It's
Like
just
those cushions look like they're gonna be hard as rocks.
right. Now we could be completely wrong and they could be really soft, but they look hard. They look hard.
Mm-hmm.
And that HOH, I think this is the best room in the house. To me.
I think this is the best HOH room in 10 years.
Mm.
Like, easily.
This is cool.
I kind of like the HOH room a lot.
There's still
It's
a
not-
hole in the ceiling, but there's no mold.
It's also not. It's like the right amount of like not too fucking insane, and
Right.
but like themed really. It's but still themed. You know, like it's not. It's not like, oh, I don't want to spend time in this room because it's like gonna give me a headache.
I
Right, 'cause,
appreciate
like-
that there's couches in the HOH.
Mm-hmm.
That's new.
I mean, they've had couches before.
Yeah.
Last season was
Okay.
couches. It was couches, but it wasn't
Every
full couches.
season.
Yeah, it's been
I
couches, but
probably
it's,
just don't pay attention to the HOH because normally it's obnoxious. So that's
I mean, but
probably
it's-
what it is.
what this one I like is there's two couches. Like, usually it's a couch and there's those two chairs by the table, and they look very hard and uninviting. But this time it's two couches on each side, so I feel like more people can sit and don't have to sit on the
This is a
bed.
house meeting. This is a house meeting HOH.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes! And it's like you don't have to sit on my bed. If I'm the HOH, that's been my thing. I'm like, if I'm the HOH, I don't want everybody coming and lounging in my bed. Because I don't know what you've been doing all day and sweaty and you putting your dirty feet in my bed while I have to sleep. I don't want that. So if it's going to be dirt in the bed, it's my dirt, not yours. So I think I like that. I like how it's, like I said, it's mellow. It's not a whole lot of flash. Like, I think there was one room, I forgot which season it was, but they had that obnoxious HOH sign. It was blue and it was neon. I think that was last season.
Last season, yeah.
It was annoying because it was like so bright. It was like,
I go back and think of the season, not like Tyshawn's season with the HOH bedroom that I hated, like the ice bedroom. I was like, that's just. I feel like I would be blinded. Like it's like walking into that room, just like no. So I'm like glad like it's a less aggressive room.
yes, I agree. And then the have-not room.
I would be I'd be on that slide all day. I'm sorry, you would only see me in this room going to the fucking
no
slide.
ladder on the slide, so it's like no ladder for you to climb up to slide down. So it's just
empty pool. I love it. I love it. I love
it's
it.
cute, and I think it's very uncomfortable because I don't want to sleep on a pool floaty. But you know,
Which pool floaty would you want?
the pink one. Or well,
I would want the
on the
multicolor.
yeah. That
I
butterf-
think the watermelon slice would be the most uncomfortable.
I think so too.
I would probably just sleep on the floor, though. I don't think I would actually sleep on I would just sleep on the floor.
I feel like it would burst underneath me, so I wouldn't feel comfortable to sleep on the pool floaty. It's just, I don't know.
I feel like the floor looks like it could be carpet, so it could be comfortable.
Possibly. But that's that. Those are the house. Those are the contestants. And we only did this for 2 hours.
Speed draft. Speed draft.
Gee.
Speed
So-
draft. Because my computer's gonna die in 24 minutes, and I don't know where my
Great.
shot.
Cool. Love. Can everybody see the wheel? Are we seeing the wheel? Do we see the wheel?
It's not
I
loaded
see
yet.
the loading wheel. Oh, there we
There
go.
it is.
There it is.
Great.
Slide.
Cool.
Let's go.
Everybody's on this wheel twice. I'm gonna spin the wheel, and then we're gonna do picking things. Are you ready?
Yes.
Spin away. Spin away.
Spin, 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 spin that wheel, yeah.
And can we get a list of names? Do we have like an
Yeah.
overarching picture of everyone?
Oh,
I
this
have
will-
them written down so I can tell you like who's still left.
Is this going on forever? Like,
There you go.
Yay! It's me.
You should spin the wheel now. You should spin the wheel now so that it's ready by the
I
time.
was saying, go down and take that time down a little bit, would you?
Okay, yeah, no, totally. 7. We're spinning for 7 seconds.
Cool.
Who do you pick?
Oh, I was gonna do all of the order first and then pick.
Mhm.
Oh.
Just to make it
I see.
faster.
Yes, yes, yeah.
I don't know why it's so slow.
It
today,
just
sorry.
stuck on Lana for me.
And me too. And I'll take it.
I know,
It's
it
me.
Lana.
Oh,
It just has not. It hasn't moved. Oh, now it's moving.
hello? Oh, wait.
Hello? Is it me? No.
Oh,
Hello.
moving now.
It's like it's.
I don't know
jumping.
what's happening. I'm sorry.
It's doing, but it's chugging along. She's slow.
We should have did a randomizer.
I know. I know. Oh, it's.
I- it-
Oh, there it is.
Oh, it's,
Alright.
This is definitely longer than 7
It
seconds.
could land on anyone. I honestly don't know.
I have. It's starting to slow down. I think it's gonna be Audrey.
This is an Audrey.
I think it is. Yep. Fabulous.
Well, Lana, good
We're gonna
luck.
do this.
Lana. Mwah.
Well, hold hands. Let's make hold hands.
Hold hands, hold hands. I hope I
We're
don't get
spinning.
these out, but I hope you don't.
We're spinning for 5 seconds. I'm not putting up with this any longer.
Every time it just every time it just goes down. Well, good luck, Lana. I've had fun playing this game with you. If I get wheeled out, it is what it is.
Why is it not moving again?
Looks like it's on Esme. There we go.
Oh,
Oh, it's on Lana now.
and then I figure we can do. I figure we can do a snake draft situation if everybody is cool with that.
Yeah, I'm done with that. Oh, is it gonna be Lana? Oh, this is slowing.
It's
ooh,
Lana.
Is it
Yeah.
me?
I think.
think it's
I can
Lana.
tell you 5 seconds. It's Lana. Cool. I'm not
Again, that
sharing
was-
my screen anymore.
That
Fuck this
13
wheel.
That one that it started out was apparently 13 seconds. It was not. That first spin was not 13 seconds.
Anyway, okay, I'm about to make all of you mad. To nobody's surprise whatsoever, I'm picking Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
My pick is next.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who's the older gentleman from Chicago? What's his name again?
Taryn.
I want Terrence.
Yay!
All right. Well, I am picking Monte.
Okay.
Okay.
I can't remember half of the names, so that's not helpful. The only name I can remember right now is Brittany, so I guess I'll take her.
Well, I'll also get another pick, so.
Wait, me again? Fuck.
Yes.
Hold on. You know what? I'll do this. Hold on. I'll do this. I'll go back. Let's go back.
But I'll keep Brittany.
We got Alyssa. Amara. Brittany. Brittany.
No. Oh well. Not Pooch. Not. No. No. I will take Michael because I feel like he'll be a good player.
Okay.
Okay. Lana.
I am going to pick. I think I'm going to pick Paloma.
Okay. Audrey.
Was Monty already selected?
Yes,
No.
he was. Yes, he was.
Okay. I'll take Amira.
Okay.
Okay.
I have 2 picks. These are my last 2 picks. Oh boy. I'm gonna go.
Wait, don't you? Don't you get 2 picks and then 1 more pick? You get no, because you get
No,
stuck
I get
with
the last. I get the last person. So I'm gonna get one of the problematic men. For the chaos, I'm picking
God,
Indy.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
You had 2 picks and you didn't pick her.
I know, because
You can't say anything.
Yes,
anyway,
I can. Yes,
no,
I can.
you
Stop
can't.
silencing me. Stop silencing me.
Is it my turn again?
No, I have one more.
Okay.
I have Indy and Taylor. I'm gonna take Daniel.
Hmm.
I'm gonna take Daniel.
Okay. Is it my turn now?
Yes.
I was walking my dog when we went over Jasmine. Is she likable?
Yeah, for the most part. She's a
Go back to her
recruit.
picture, please.
She's a recruit. Seems lovely.
Atlanta. Go through the pictures again. Did somebody already pick Michael?
Yes.
Yes.
Damn. I'll go with Jasmine. I'll secure Jasmine.
Okay.
So the players we have left to pick, Lana, just so you are aware.
I know. I'm picking Nicole.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna end up picking not the 2 problematic people. I'm gonna pick
Alyssa and Pooch.
which I don't really want either of these people, but I want the other people less than them.
All right, so you're taking Alyssa and Pooch?
I'm picking Alyssa, then Pooch. I
Okay.
want that to be very clear.
Yep. All right, Lana, you have a choice of a problematic man, and a problematic man.
I will pick Marvin. I'm still he's problematic, but
All right, Odd. You
Who's
have
left?
a choice. You have a choice of problematic man,
I don't know.
but not Michael,
or
or problematic man.
Yeah.
Not that
I'll
one.
go with
Hale or Matt?
I'll go with Matt simply on the basis of him and his sister are already giving the drama. They're already bringing the drama.
When
And
his sister's on
so-
BB 25.
Yeah, right. No, they'll come back for a siblings twist.
Yeah. So I will have a graphic made by tomorrow evening, but here are the teams. We have Team Esme, consisting of Alyssa, Brittany, Pooch,
Who the fuck did I
and
pick? I was
Michael.
not in my right mind.
That's who you picked, so you're sticking with it. We have Team Lana, consisting of Marvin, Monte, Nicole, and Paloma. We have Team Odd, consisting of Amira, Jasmine, Matt Turner, and Terrence. And team... Everyone has a pretty decent team. And then my team is Daniel, Indy, Kyle, and Taylor.
Who do we
I think I have the drama team. I'm going to say I think I have the drama in one way or another. Taylor's just statuesque drama, and I think everybody else is going to provide game drama. So,
who do we think on our teams is likely going to be the person that placed the highest on our team and the person that placed the lowest?
I think highest on my team is going to be Amira. And I think lowest on my team is the sibling drama guy. Michael?
Matt Turner.
Matt Turner. Matt. He's going to place
I
the
will say
lowest.
one thing that about him is that apparently he's really good at manipulating, so that will be something to watch out for.
True. Very true.
Yep.
I think for my team, the highest is going to be Paloma, honestly. I think, yeah. And I think the lowest is going to be Marvin. Because I think his strength is going to be what people are going to be scared of.
Mm-hmm. I think the highest. I don't know. I feel like not really actually that confident in my team. I feel like the highest are either going to be my first 2 picks, and the lowest are going to be one of my last 2 picks. But I'm leaning more towards saying that Michael will be the highest on my team. Well, Alyssa will be the lowest.
Okay. I think lowest on my team is probably going to be Indy. I just get that vibe. I think the highest, I'm going to say the highest is Taylor. I have complete faith. And before we wrap up, winner pick. One pick, one person, winner pick. We're doing it.
Taylor.
Terrence.
Hey!
I love that. Esme.
I can't think of one right now because I'm still like cannot picture all of the fucking cast. Is really the main part? It's someone from your team, Logan, but I cannot fucking remember who it was.
Daniel, Indy, Taylor. Don't say Kyle.
No, not that man. I don't know.
That's my team, so
I'll pick Michael from my team, I guess, because I can't fucking.
I'm gonna be different, and I'm gonna say somebody different. I'm gonna say Amira. I feel that energy. Odd had you not taken her. I was planning on it, so I'm gonna say Amira. That feels like a good pick.
Sounds good to me.
Well, with that, that's 2.5 hours of fun and excitement. Thank you for joining us for this lovely program today. We will be back tomorrow night because the premiere is literally tomorrow. We will be back at 11 p.m. EST, which will be our live eviction show days. We don't have a Thursday episode this week, so it's only going to be Wednesday for us this week. And then starting next week, we'll be getting into our official schedule, which will be uploaded videos Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern, giving you an overview of the Sunday episode, as well as live feeds up through Monday evening. And then we will be doing Thursday episodes after every live eviction at 11 Eastern, talking about live evictions, talking about twists, talking about all the things.
And I might have to not watch the episode live because I have rehearsal that day that gets out at like 8:39.
Party.
And I might not. I will keep you posted, Logan.
You're good. Don't worry about it. But with that, thank you for joining us, and
Bye.
Cheers, y'all.
cheers.
And expected. Clink, clink, clink.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Goodbye now. So long, farewell.
Bye.